to my channel. Today we are going to be breaking down and reacting to Weapons, which came out this year in 2025. This is going to be a bit of a difficult one to break down. The structure of this movie is very non-linear. So kind of bear with me. Okay, so this movie more or less begins with the narration of an unknown child telling us that in Maybrook, Pennsylvania, on a Wednesday morning at 2:17, 17 children from town just sort of up and walked out their front door into the night and were never seen or heard from again. We come to find that all 17 children came from one classroom, the classroom being that of teacher Justine. When Justine walks into class that morning, she realizes that her class is empty except for one child named Alex. About a month after the disappearance, the community is just devastated, still utterly devastated by the suspicion and not knowing what happened and coming up with their own theories, and it's madness. So the principal of the school, Marcus, puts Justine on leave. One, sort of for her own protection, because the town very much thinks that she was a part of what happened. Also, I think the principal kind of thought she maybe at least had knowledge. We do find out later that there is sort of a past history of inappropriate behavior from Justine, both with faculty and with children. I guess she had they insinuate a relationship between her and another teacher. And then there's an incident at a previous, like all at previous schools. There was an incident briefly spoken about where Justine had given some boy at her present school like a ride home, which should never be done. It does not look good. So he puts her on leave. We see that she is genuinely upset over everything that's happened, both to the children and to her. She turns to alcohol for solace and ends up getting involved with a former boyfriend who is also a police officer. His name is Paul. He is also in a relationship with somebody else, the chief's daughter, if I remember correctly. Paul is not really a good guy. Meanwhile, one of the missing children's father, Archer Thanos, he is Matthew's father. Matthew is one of the boys that went missing. He was also a bit of a school bully. But Archer begins to just get more and more frustrated with the police and their, lack of findings. He doesn't think that they're doing all that they can. Any parent would feel the same way. But I will say the police are really, really, really stupid in this movie. So he starts his own sort of investigation into the case and just starts doing his own thing, right? And good for him. Justine becomes very concerned about Alex, the one student that was remaining in her classroom. She takes it upon herself to follow him home, noticing that his house and all the windows are covered in newspaper. She also sees, when she looks in between the paper, that Alex's parents are sitting very strangely on the couch. She calls the principal, Marcus, and tries to persuade him to kind of call the police for a wellness check. Suspecting that something has gone very, very bad in that house. Both Justine and Archer experience horrible dreams about the missing children, and also a very odd looking woman, almost doll-like, clown-like, like just really friggin', again, the jump scares, Jesus Christ. Later, Justine visits Alex's house again, but falls asleep in the car. She goes like full stakeout mode, right? Like inappropriate behavior. We get it, but still, like from the perspective of like normal everyday kind of happenings, what she's doing is weird, right? So for those who aren't like on her thought train, or you know what I mean, she just seems like stalker, stage 5 stalker material. So she ends up falling asleep in the car, and we see, it's creepy, Alex's mother emerges looking not zombie-like, but like definitely controlled, almost like a marionette sort of deal in the way that she's moving. It's crazy. Then she goes right up to the car, opens the car door, and we see this like huge pair of scissors, right? And it's so creepy. But all she does is cut a lock of Justine's hair. The situation escalates when a local drug addict and small-time thief that we come to know as James breaks into Alex's house, discovering Alex's parents and the children in the basement. Like all the children are in Alex's basement. And just standing there like statues or dolls, and they just, as kids do, look creepy as fuck. James reports his findings to the police, hoping for help, but Officer Paul, who had previously threatened James and knocked him the fuck out, Paul is not a good guy. He spots James and chases him through the woods, because when he hit James, once he lost his temper and hit him, once he crossed that line and physically hit James, he woke him up, he brought him to, and was like, listen, you done bad, I done bad, let's call it a wash, I don't ever want to see you again, right? To which James is, of course, like, cool bones, dude, and just fucking leaves, right? But when he finds the kids, he also comes across a reward poster and thinks, dope money, right? So when he calls it in, he's like, can we meet anywhere other than the police station? I don't do the cop shop, yo. Right? As he's walking to meet somebody, Paul ends up coming out and just by pure happenstance sees James and thinks, yes, he's coming to rat me out. And just all hell breaks loose. And that night, Paul apprehends James and drags him back to Alex's house, leaving him cuffed in the car. But I gotta say, the scene where Paul catches James, James runs into his little tent in the woods, right? Because he sees this crazy, creepy lady in the woods, and ends up back in his tent, right? Well, he's freaking the fuck out. He's also jonesing, right? He's withdrawing, and somebody starts shaking the tent and whatever, and like throws the zipper open and throws the tent open, and as he throws the flaps open, James freaks out and grabs some old syringes, fucking it ends up being the cop, and he stabs him in the cheek, and the cop just loses his fucking mind. Like, the scene is funny. And he cuffs him and leaves him in the car. He tells him, you know, like, it's this house, you know, all the kids are in the basement, and they go there. But like I said, the officer, Paul, leaves James just like handcuffed in the back seat for hours. The investigation deepens when Marcus is visited at the school by Gladys Lilly. Marcus being the principal. The eccentric aunt of Alex and caretaker of the family after Alex's parents fall ill. Marcus insists on meeting Alex's parents directly, sensing the situation warrants further inquiry. Later on, Gladys appears at Marcus's home with his husband Terry, who, listen, like, we'll expand upon Terry. I have thoughts about Terry. She performs a disturbing ritual involving a thorny stick and a stolen ribbon and hair from both Marcus and Terry, casting a spell that enchants Marcus. Under her influence, Marcus becomes violent and turns against Terry, this forcing him to attack his own husband. And it's brutal. It is so brutal. Marcus is then fatally hit by a car during an attack on Christine at a gas station, where he interrupts her argument with Archer. So Marcus knows that there is something wrong with Gladys, right? She's sketchy as fuck. She's weird. She's creepy. She gives that vibe. She's not okay. Okay. And Marcus isn't stupid. He doesn't want her anywhere around him, right? So he is trying to, although politely, tell her, you need to fucking leave. Like, this is inappropriate. You need to go, right? And Terry is like, oh no, bitch, come on in. We've made a shit ton of hot dogs. Come on in. The fucking tray of hot dogs they made. Even when she says she wants a glass of water because of the walk she's done or whatever, right? She's gonna get some water, and he goes to get her a glass of water, and Gladys is like, can I have it in a bowl? It's like, bitch, what are you, a fucking dog? Like, all these little red flags, and still, you know, Terry is like, yeah, sure, get her a bowl, it's all good. Like, Terry's an idiot. Terry deserved what happened to him. Just saying. And then poor Marcus, you know, he gets enchanted and just starts taking off to like a bullet toward like a heat-seeking missile focused on Justine, right? And when he finds her, she's at the gas station, happenstancing across Archer, and they're having a heated discussion, right? He sees her driving around, he sees the car that he was the one that vandalized, and, you know, he pulls in, and they're just going, right? And over his shoulder, she sees Marcus coming at her, and it's just, again, more insanity ensues. It's absolutely mad. This movie is mad. As events unfold, Justine and Archer reconcile, kinda, sensing that the missing children were drawn toward Alex's house. So the way they come up with that is that Archer, who's like he owns or works for a building company, builds like houses and stuff, and he just gets the map of the town and just starts, mapping shit out where all the kids came from and the direction they all seem to be going. And from what he can gather, he also gathers like people's ring camera stuff and actually speaks to people around the neighborhood and figures that all the kids seem to be running to Alex's house. That was the direction they seemed to be going to. It is then revealed that Gladys is not just an eccentric relative, but a dying witch who has been secretly manipulating those around her. She can subjugate others by weaponizing personal items such as hair, name tags, which she uses to cast powerful spells. Gladys ordered Alex to collect objects from his classmates, promising that she would leave once recovered. So it's heavily implied that Gladys is very, very sick. We see her weak in bed at Alex's house when she first arrives. We see her throwing up on the floor when Alex kind of walks in on her unannounced. Then we see all of a sudden, like the next day when he comes back from school, that she is, up and about and she's all do, and his parents are like catatonic at the kitchen table. It's fucking weird. And she breaks it all down for this poor little boy that she can make his parents do whatever the hell she wants. And then, to prove it, she makes them stab each other, or they stab themselves in the face with a fork, like many. It's very jarring. It's not gory. There's no blood, but it's jarring. It's very jarring, in my opinion. It's probably one of the freakiest parts of the whole goddamn movie, except for the part where with the hair cutting and the big scissors. That was fucking weird. Gladys orders Alex to collect objects from each classmate, promising she would leave. Using these items, she cast a spell, summoning children and trapping them in the basement to drain their life force, therefore prolonging hers. Okay? And this poor kid is the one that is taking care of, like, bear in mind, these are still human beings, catatonic they may be, they still need to eat and stuff. So poor Alex is the one left to tend to, 17, 18, at least 19 people, plus himself. This poor kid. The movie comes to a head when Justine and Archer enter Alex's house, only to be attacked by a bewitched Paul and James. Justine seizes Paul's gun in the scuffle and fatally shoots, like both of them, both James and Paul. And then confront Gladys in the basement, where Archer finds Gladys trying to break her enchantment. Gladys, wielding her magic wand, tries to turn Archer against Justine, but Archer manages to copy her spell using her hair. that he had collected from a wig. Once the spell is broken, the children are now free to exact revenge. Sweet, sweet revenge on Gladys. As they chase her out of the house. And I mean, these kids are like running through the doors, through the windows, through other people's houses, into other people's yards. Yes. Where Gladys is finally tackled on somebody's front lawn and like ripped apart by these kids. In the aftermath of that, Archer finds his son, who's like completely non-responsive. He's just standing there. He's very blank-faced. He doesn't respond to his dad's voice. He doesn't hug back when his dad hugs him. When he picks him up to carry him, he's like stiff as a board. He's completely like, there's nothing there. However, we are told by the narrator that picks up again that some of the children very slowly begin to recover from their catatonic state. Although we conclude with a very small sense of hope, mind you, that Alex moves away with what we hope is a much kinder aunt. After his parents have been institutionalized. The children are reunited with their families, and some are starting to speak again. With a hopeful outlook that all of them will eventually regain speech and some sense of normality, and then the film just sort of ends. It's a very sad movie, really. And I just want to say, I think I misspoke. It wasn't Archer that broke the spell. It was Alex that broke the spell. Pretty sure it was Alex that broke the spell. Because everybody, like, all hell breaks loose in this house, right? Like, Justine and Archer are attacked by James and Paul, right? There's like a salt thing, like the whole witch, you know, bad things can't cross salt. Gladys has laid down salt where these enchanted people are, right? So when they come in the house, when they walk past them and like don't see them and stuff, they move the salt around, and then they just get attacked. Same thing happens upstairs. Alex's parents are used as guards for Gladys, and Gladys specifically tells him, do not cross the salt, right? There is a salt line that is between the rest of the house and then his parents, which are in front of Gladys's bedroom door, right? He crosses that line, and immediately his parents just take after him, and that's it. They want him dead. They're clawing through doors, and screaming, and when this movie goes batshit, it goes 110% batshit. There's no fucking around. It was an interesting movie. There were some scenes in it that didn't make any sense to me, and I'm sure by now everybody's heard about the big gun over top of Alex's house that has the 217 written in it. I don't know what the fuck that means. I don't know why that was put in there. It's a bit of a jarring visual, but other than that, like, there's no meaning to it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just there to jar you. Which, okay, I guess, but it just kind of took me out of the story a little bit. I don't know. I like me a witchy movie. I enjoyed this. I'm not a huge fan of jump scares because I'm a jumpy bitch. You put a jump scare in a movie, I'm gonna jump. I don't like it. But it's fine. It was a good movie. I enjoyed it. I like stories that are told this way in a sort of a non-linear fashion. Like, I don't know. I thoroughly enjoyed it. In that respect, I think they did a very good job, because it's hard to tell a story that way and still have it being cohesive and you know, grabbing the attention and all that kind of stuff. But I thought it was great. I thought the cinematography was really good. I thought that the suspense was very, very well done. And you cared about the characters, which in a movie like this is extremely important. So yeah, I thought it was great. Anyways, I enjoyed this movie. I hope you enjoyed this breakdown. And until next time, we'll see you in the next one.